Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to An RN's Life, the Psychology of Men, Part 3. First, let me thank everyone who's been listening to my videos, commenting. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're enjoying the series, and I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to finish up this Psychology of Men series 3 and 4. Then I'm going to put up my Psychology of Seeking Destroyers, and then we're going to move on to the Psychology of Women. So, for those who have not subscribed, please subscribe. You don't want to miss it. I got some good ones coming down the pike. I got even more coming. That's why I said I'm going to have some good stuff for you guys. So let's keep it going and let's continue on in part 3. Now, let me just clear up something from part 3 that I think I needed to elaborate on, and that is the big man on campus. Let me just say that I had mentioned that the time frame for a young boy to experience his big man on campus moment is from junior high school to high school. Let me just clear something up. When I say that, I mean this is the time that he needs to start experiencing it, because if he starts the earlier he experiences it, the the longer, the shorter amount of time it's going to take for him to come into his full manhood. And that's what it is. If he starts this big man on campus time early, then he should be finishing it up by the time he gets closer to 30. But if he doesn't experience it in his younger years and he has to experience it in his older years, that's when it becomes more difficult. Because, see, the younger the boy starts to experience it, he's used to the feeling and he's able to handle it better as he gets older. But when he experiences it at an older age, he handles it differently because he's older and his needs are different. So it changes. And to give you a good example, I was looking at Hulu, and I was looking at the documentary on Mike the Situation, and he talked about how he had his big man on campus moment, how he had the cars, the money, the drugs, the sex, all kinds of women. He had a sex tape. And he said when he married his wife, Lauren, he was ready because now he's on his third child. He's been married. And he said he enjoys marriage. He enjoys being a husband and father. And that's because he had his time. And that's what I'm talking about. Men have to get that out of their system. And when I say the big man on campus moment, it doesn't always have to be flashy cars and stuff like that. It could be getting to that career he always wanted to get to that gives him more money. Anything that gives a man more money and access. So anything that gives him more money and access, that's what is considered the big man on campus. Money, access, and power. And again, men need to get this out of their system before they can become husbands and fathers, because men are already lovers of themselves and they already are selfish by nature. So if they're living their big men on campus moments while they're married with children, they're not going to be faithful or pour into their families. They're going to pour into themselves. That's what they're going to do. So that's why I said men who are going through this, they don't make for good husbands at that time in their life. And that's why you see a lot of men who become successful, they wind up leaving, other girlfriends or first wives and getting other women who they think they should be with based on their money, status, power, whatever. So that's what they do. You see it all the time. And that's because they have to have that big man on campus moment. And when I get closer to part 4, I'll get into uh, why men do that. Well, we know why they do it. They need their big man on campus moment, but why they leave the woman that they're with to go with another woman, or a woman that they believe is the woman of their dreams or whatever. So I'll get to that as we get towards 3 and into 4. But I wanted to clear that up because I don't think I explained it properly in part 2. So I wanted to make sure that I got that out. Now I want to move on to what men do to us as a result of them being lovers of themselves. Men are big time manipulators. And because they are big time manipulators, This, we don't all women don't always do well because of this. Now, let me explain this part. Men are natural manipulators, and I'm gonna tell you why. Men by nature are supposed to provide and protect. That's their nature. And even though we live in a modern society, and even though we don't see these things on the surface, when I say see these things on the surface, because we live in a modernized world, the man doesn't have to go out and hunt deer or hunt chicken or hunt cow for us to eat anymore. We can go to the supermarket and buy that. So being a provider and protector now is reserved for just the man making the money, bringing it home, and also protecting his home, from any sort of threats of any kind. And because men are providers and protectors, they're natural manipulators, because in order to provide and protect, you have to be able to manipulate. And when I say manipulate, you have to be able to manipulate a situation to get the best desired outcome. So, because you have to do that, men are natural manipulators because they have to strategize. You have to strategize to provide and protect. You just don't jump up and do it like going to the bathroom. You have to, strategize, which is a form of manipulation. You have to manipulate a situation to get what you want. So, since that is the case, they naturally manipulate us to get the best possible outcome for them. And let me give you an example of what I'm referring to. Let's say you met a man and you were talking about going on a date. And let's say you've had several phone conversations. So let's say he says to you, "Hey, how about we meet at the Chili's on Route 4, because it's 10 minutes from both of our houses and it's really cold outside. And we could just meet for a couple quick drinks and just talk and get to know each other more." Now, ladies, we know we like to be wined and dined, and we like to go to nicer places and things like that. And we might say to him, "Well, listen, I was I'm not, big on chain restaurants. Is there somewhere else that we can go that's, a little bit, better, has a better selection, or whatever?" Well, what he's going to do to get his desired outcome, he's going to say things to you like, "Well, it's really cold outside, and I really didn't want you driving that far since it's so cold. And I just wanted to spend time with you and get to, talk to you, and just, I wanted to look at you. And I figured it would just be something, close by for now. And we can plan to go on, a place you like for the next date, so they'll do all of that. I was just thinking about you. I didn't want you to drive far. It's so cold outside. This, and the third. Everything to try to get you to Chili's. When all actuality, he don't want to pay no money. He want it to be a cheap date so that he can see if he can get you in front of his face, so that he can see if he can get you in the bed or how fast he can get you there. Because he want to just feel you out more, because that's what men do. Men like to take the road to least resistance. If they can get you in the bed without all the bells and whistles, then that's what they're going to do. And when they can't do that, then the man has to decide if you're worth the wait or not. So it all depends. So usually the men chooses the road to least resistance, depending on the woman and depending on the man, because some men know that there are certain types of women you gonna have to come out your pocket, and then there's certain women that you can probably manipulate and lowball based on the conversations you have with them. That's why, ladies, you always have to stay on your game and stay, and learn. I think it's very important. You need to learn how to talk to a man. And when I say learn how to talk to a man, really, a woman is supposed to be doing not a whole lot of talking, but a lot of listening. That's what you're supposed to do. Because, see, when women do a whole lot of talking, men take that information and use it against you. And that's why you're not supposed to do a whole lot of talking. You're supposed to do more listening. Because that's what men do, because men are manipulators. They take information about you and they turn it back on you so that they can get the desired outcome, because that's what they like to do. To give you, let me see if I can come up with an example of manipulation and turn it back on you. Let's say, I don't know if this is a good example, but I'm gonna give it a try. Let's say your girlfriend saw, she calls you and say, "Listen, girl, I saw your man at the mall. He was hugging on this girl, child." And You say you he comes home and you confront him about it, and he says to you, "Oh well, babe, what are you talking about? Your girlfriend? She just what girlfriend? Who is she talking about? Who she see? What mall? When? What time? Who? What are you talking about?" And then by the time you answer all the, she saw you at the so and so mall with some girl that had on a pink jacket, and she said you was hugging on her. I don't know who you talking about. Oh, that was my cousin. Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was my cousin. That's Aunt Bunny daughter. She don't live here. She just came from out of town, and I saw her at the mall and all this stuff. Your girlfriend, she just jealous. She ain't got no man. She a hater. You know, she used to look at me sometimes. I don't know about her. That's the kind of stuff that they do because they put everything on everybody else and not on them. And when a man does that, when he takes things and puts it on everybody else, instead of proving to you that that was Aunt Bunny daughter, if he ain't on the phone with Aunt Bunny and the cousin on the phone, then girl, he lying. But he's going to do all that other stuff. He's going to do the manipulation. He's going to, do oh, your girlfriend this. She don't know what she's talking about. She just jealous. My cousin this, like all this other stuff, except what the real is. And see, that's what men do. They're going to manipulate and twist things around to get the desired outcome. And because as women, we don't want to believe it, we don't want to accept it. So we will listen to what they're saying and take it in and half believe it. We know underneath it all he's lying. We know that. But we don't want to accept it. So because we don't want to accept it, we'll believe the manipulation. We'll believe the lies. We'll believe that. Because that's what's going to make us feel good at that moment. Because as women, we don't want to accept things sometimes when it's placed in front of us. Sometimes we have to let things marinate, process it, and then we can deal with it maybe later. Sometimes we can't face things when it's right in our face. And that, and men, sometimes they know that, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Some men know, some don't. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about as far as manipulation. Men will manipulate you to get the best desired outcome for them. And because they do that, and men will manipulate, and between manipulation and decompartmentalize, men really be wreaking havoc out here with women. And that's why there's so many women that have been broken by men, emotionally, because men manipulate and decompartmentalize, because there's men out here that don't care that that they're manipulating you, lying to you, and it's all intentional, because men are very intentional with things that they do. Because there's men out here that they actually don't like women. And I'm not saying that they're gay. I'm saying they don't like women. They have mommy issues. They have a combination of mommy issues and didn't have a good dating history. And be with those two things together, they don't like women. So their interactions with women are not good. A lot of them are, of course, they're manipulative, but they're mean and nasty, and they put you through things. They'll pretend like that they care about you and show you in one way, and then in the next way they will tear you down verbally and emotionally, because they don't like women. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to do a psychology of about that, men who hate women or men who don't like women. However, I'll come up with a title. But that's a video that's going to be all its own, because I think that that's a big one too. Because I don't think women can recognize men who actually don't like women. They're not gay. Don't get me wrong, but the way that they treat women, interact with women and view women is horrible. And it usually stems from having mommy issues or having issues with dating when they were younger. Like, girls were teasing them, or they were mean to them, or did a prank on them, or something like that. And it's usually something that happens several times. Or it could be some SA involved in that by a female, combined with mommy issues and other things like that. I think I'm going to do a video on that alone, because women need to understand the signs of men that are like that. because I know the signs of men that are like that, and you could tell the men that don't like women. And this is important, ladies, because those are the men you definitely want to stay away from because they are horrible fathers. When there's some men out here that don't like women that are not bad fathers, but what it is, if they have daughters, they're horrible fathers because if they don't like women, they're not going to do right by their daughters, and then then the girl is going to grow up with her own a whole set of problems. So I think I'm gonna do a separate video on that one, and I'll get to that one too. That's why I said I got a lot of work to do on this channel. It's a lot. Lord Jesus, when it comes to these men, that's why I said breaking down this psychology of men thing, it's a lot because there's a lot that goes on. It's not, black and white. It's not simple and it's not easy. It's a lot of complexities and a lot of different things that goes on with this that's based on, culture, what I just said before, socioeconomic background, all those factors, morals, values, all of that. All of these things tie in. And that's why I said this is, this psychology series is really, deep. I mean, even when I get to the women, it's going to be deep as well. So that's why I said this is really like an interesting series that I'm doing here because I don't think that we uh, really like think about uh the psychology of men and how deep it is. Because I think once we learn, we're not going to know men totally. But once you learn like the basics on how men act and respond and think, and how you can start picking up on these little nuances about men that are not going to be good for you, then you can make better decisions and women can, start making better choices, and we're not putting ourselves in danger and just going through things that we really should not be going through because there's too many women out here losing their lives at the hands of men that they had no business being with in the first place. So this psychology of men series is very important because there's a lot of men out here like this, and that's the thing, there's some good men out here, but there's a lot of men that are what I'm explaining right now because that's the basic makeup of a man. The nature of a man is what I'm talking about. What makes each man different is what's poured into him, or what happens to him. That's the difference in all of this. But they all start off basically being, you know, um, lovers of themselves, sexually deviant. This is, aggressive, violent. This is a part of their nature. But based on what's poured into them, that determines the person that they are. So I'm coming up on 18 minutes, and I'm going to close this one out so that I can get ready to do part 4. So I'm going to work on part 4, and then I'm going to have to close it out, the Psychology of Men series. Now I'm going to come up with some other topics that pertain to the psychology of men. It's just that I'm going to break it down in different ones, like I did the Deviant Switch. I'm doing Seeking Destroyers. I'm doing like different ones, and they all tie in together. So by the time I get finished all of this, we'll all have a really good picture of the psychology of men and women, and we'll be able to maneuver a little better out here because I think all of that is important. Okay, guys, I'm going to close this one out, and I'm going to get ready for part 4 so that I can get ready to give you guys my Seek and Destroyer because I'm excited about the Seek and Destroyer one. That's the one I really want to get out. So I'm going to close this one, and thanks a lot, guys, for listening. Please comment below and just give me some of your experiences that you have with men with the manipulation, because I'm sure that you guys out there got some great stories. I'm sure men have came home with the craziest stories in the world trying to manipulate a situation, and even tell me if you believed one of their lies one time. Because I know I have. My first ex-husband lied to me and told me, my girlfriend told me she saw him kissing some girl up on the Ave at the cheesesteak joint. And this was back when I was in my 20s. And, when he came home, I asked him about it. And what did he tell me? It was his cousin. And I didn't believe it because my girlfriend had told me it's not like that. She was a good, well, she still is a friend of mine, we were close back then. And she was like a no nonsense, like she wasn't that type of person that she was jealous of anybody's relationship. She had her own relationship and she really didn't care like that. And if she told me that that's what she saw, that's what she saw. So I know what she saw. Now I have few other friends that if they told me that, I wouldn't have believed it. But when the source it was coming from, I'm like, she's not lying because she's not that type of girl. She's not, the jealous type and, want your man and all that. She don't care like that. And when he came home and I confronted him, oh, that was my cousin, this and that. And I'm like that. I said, what was you kissing on the lips for? I ain't never heard of that. I don't know what your girlfriend. What girlfriend you talking about? Who you talking about? So when I told him, he was like, I ain't even see her. She lying. She don't even know if it was me or not. Where was she at? So I told him, I wasn't even there today. And I was like, yeah, okay. And he was there because she said that the girl got in his car, which is our car because she described the car. So I'm like seriously. So she told me the girl got in the car. She told me everything. She even told me what my husband had on that day. So that how does she know? She ain't seen him all day. So that's why I said I believed my girlfriend, but I swept it under the rug. Because again, when you're married, my son was born at the time. I had just had my son. So when you're married, you have a child, you kind of don't want to believe that. I was hormonal anyway, going through postpartum, just having a baby. So that's something you just don't want to hear. You really don't. So that's the stuff I'm talking about. So that's what goes on. But anyway, I'm going to end this one out because I'm coming up on 22 minutes. And I'm going to get you guys ready for part 4. And then we're going to move on to Seeking Destroyers. I got some good stuff coming up for y'all. I'm telling you. And I'm enjoying doing these videos because, I've been sitting on this information for years. Actually, the videos that I'm bringing to you is actually my career's work. Everything that I'm putting out in these videos is from actual research and case studies and interviews and different things that I've done in my work. And I should have been came to YouTube with this information. I don't know why it's just coming to me, but I should have been came to YouTube for bringing this information because I've been holding on to it for years. So and I'm hoping my information can help women and men out here. If I can help people have a better mental healthier outlook, then I've accomplished my goal. So I'm happy if these videos are helpful to anyone. So again, let me close out. Let me get off of these here Blue Ivy and Beyonce's internet, and let me get ready for part 4. So thanks again guys for listening. Like, share, comment, and let's get me to 1,000 subscribers, y'all, so I could go live. I want to go live so everybody, so people can call in, so we could be having these conversations. That's what I'm excited about because I want to have these conversations, honey. And then I'm at come on screen. See, once we start going live, I want to come on screen because I don't want y'all talking to a blank screen. So I'm gonna come when I do live. I'm gonna come on screen. I mean, I have to do it eventually. So let's get to this 1,000, baby, so we could get so we could go live and really chop it up on here. All right, let me go, guys. You have a great one. Have a great work week, guys. Be safe out here. And woo, child, let's get ready for Christmas. Oh, real quick, is it me or was the Black Friday sales not selling? I didn't see no sales. Did y'all see them? I mean, maybe it's just me, but I'm not seeing the half off on the TVs. I'm not seeing the money that I used to see for the TVs. I don't know, y'all. All right, let me get out of here. I'm just talking crazy. Let me get out of here. So y'all have a good one. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.